Hey everyone, the Rotoworld football crew is here at NBC Sports HQ. Josh, Nick, Daigle, Jesse, and Pat. And you know, guys, it's important to track ADP changes throughout the last couple of weeks. And since August 1st, a lot has changed for a lot of these players that we are going to end up picking. So let's first look at the players that have dropped down the board the most. Wow, obviously Kiki Cutie because of his injury dropping 19 spots. Andy Isabella dropping 18. Look at Damian Harris dropping 17 spots. Antonio Brown 8. Andrew Luck 8, which is important at the top of your drafts. Pat, does any of those names stand out to you?
You know, as a Sony Michel owner in Dynasty, my eyebrows shot way up when the Patriots used another top 90 pick on a potential early down back. And over the offseason, he was getting a lot of hype. Like, he might compete for the starting job of Sony Michel. Sony Michel had another surgery, was missing time, but it was kind of really just one or two particular reporters that were hyping Damian Harris, and it was mostly before camp. It hasn't really translated so far as camp has started. Sony Michel has been looking good. Seems like he's maybe like re-gripping the starting job, so to speak. And Damian Harris, the guy I agree with his ADP falling, I think will probably continue to trend in that direction.
Basically, if we can kind of read into this a little bit, Damian Harris is falling because we feel more certain about Sony Michel, right?
Probably. And there just hasn't been as much hype around Harris to drive the ADP.
And he didn't play in the preseason game so far, so we haven't seen anything.
We actually had a report, I think it was from the Boston Herald that we blurbed about today, that Damian Harris has barely gotten any first-team reps at Patriots training camp.
And they're talking more about Michel catching more passes, like with every running back in training camp. Oh, they're catching more passes this year. I mean, I don't know.
I'm looking forward to the first running back to catch fewer passes.
It's not that he's catching passes, though. It's that he's on the field to catch passes.
Right.
Like, he sat out all of offseason activities with a knee injury, which is par for the course for him, but now he came back and he's being used on every rep. It's like, oh, he's healthy, okay.
We actually talked about Andy Isabella in our rookie video. Be sure to go look at that because I think now he's even a better value, down 18 spots. I think Andrew Luck can turn into a value if we actually think he can play, Jesse. We don't know about that yet, but dropping 8 spots around that quarterback 4 or 5 territory where he's going, I mean, that's almost a full round out of him.
I'm surprised it's not more.
Interesting.
He's been dealing with it. This isn't like an injury that just popped up during camp. He's been dealing with it all offseason. All offseason, he has practiced a grand total of 3 times. And it just seems, eerily similar to 2 years ago where the Colts kept saying all the right things. He'll be ready for week 1, and he keeps stretching on and on with the shoulder injury, and he didn't play at all that year. So I'm just really hesitant because I have bad memories from loading up on Andrew Luck. I don't trust the Colts to steer us in the right direction about his health.
Yeah, and Nick, I mean, maybe a month ago, we were sitting here for videos as well, and you said if healthy, Andrew Luck has the potential to be the quarterback 1 to end the season. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
And I still firmly believe that. I mean, if he is on the field, this offense is conducive to fantasy points. I mean, he's going to score fantasy points, so he can threaten that top spot. Just ideally, I want to see him come to practice here sooner rather than later.
It's also not just the calf, too. I think there's been an update that he's dealing with a bit of an ankle issue, too.
Well, calf injuries don't usually linger
guy
for 3 months, so I kind of was assuming there was more to the story there, and I still haven't been. I was not worried, basically, until Jim Irsay's kind of bizarre statement, where the Colts, too, are like saying, well, it's not exactly like Kevin Durant's injury situation. I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be making that comparison. That's kind of bizarre that the team would do that.
I usually just look to Pro Football Doc for these kind of things, and he recently tweeted that he expects Luck to be ready for week 1. So that's the way I approach everything.
So maybe a value.
And 3 weeks until the regular season. We have time.
Second year in this offense, he doesn't have to be out there during training camp.
And it's a far less concerning body part than a surgically repaired shoulder.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Philip Rivers played on 20 ACL. This guy can play on a bum calf.
Enough of us being negative. Let's flip the script and turn a little bit positive here. Here are the players that have risen upwards and their ADP has climbed since August 1st. I mean, Jalen Hurd jumping up 100 spots. Duke Johnson after the trade jumping up 56 spots. Rashard Higgins 50. Jacoby Myers locked down the top wide receiver spot according to beat writers, plus 45. And you have names like Tony Pollard, Matt Breida, Jamison Crowder. I mean, who wants to hit
Higgins,
on?
Man.
You want to hit on Higgins?
Higgins. Got to talk about Higgins. I mean, technician, perfect route runner. He's not going to separate, but he has good hands, big guy, good catch radius. Offense that we want pieces of. We want
exposure
parts of this Cleveland offense. And we always talk about these second-year breakouts, but Higgins entering his third year kind of falling by the wayside. You're not talking about guys like this very often. Like, he could be last year's Tyler Boyd, guy that breaks down third year.
Perfect comp.
I think the big thing with him, too, is Antonio Callaway is going to be suspended for the first 4 games. So he slots in opposite Odell, and then you have Jarvis in the slot.
It's important to know he was playing ahead of Antonio Callaway in camp anyways.
That was
Like, he's the
probably
starting
because
receiver.
the Browns knew.
But apparently Antonio Callaway hadn't told the Browns about this before it actually
Sounds like
came
Callaway.
out.
Yeah,
which
but it does
kinda
sound like something he would
fits
do.
the memo.
And Higgins actually had rapport with Baker Mayfield last year, like more so than Antonio Callaway.
There are so many great names on this list, like Matt Breida jumping up 24 spots, Tony Pollard right now, Jesse, jumping up 36 spots. I mean, I'm sure some of that is due to Ezekiel Elliott holding out and missing some action, but does Tony Pollard even maybe have some individual standalone value as well?
I doubt it if Zeke comes back, but Zeke's not here right now, and Jerry Jones has said that he thinks he's capable of handling the load. And the treatment he got in the preseason opener against the 49ers, I thought was very telling. He only played the first series along with the other starters like Dak Prescott, and to me that shows that they want to keep him under wraps.
And Jerry Jones and the Joneses are notorious for talking
Suggest he's
up.
going to have a role in the season. Even if Zeke comes back, I could see him playing some sort of.
Yeah, I was going to say I actually disagree because I don't think it's reactionary. I think it's proactive to draft Tony Pollard. Like, he has standalone value in this offense. It may lead to Zeke being scaled back in targets and perhaps working Tony Pollard that way, but I think he is an A-plus guy to draft if Zeke is out. But even if he's not, like, this is a player who 100% has value in one of those late-round guys like Darwin Thompson or Chase Edmonds, who you draft just because his upside is weak winning later in the year.
It reminds me of the James Conner thing last year. None of us really knew what James Conner could offer because he barely played in 2017 as a rookie behind Le'Veon Bell. And we took a flyer on him because he's in a good offense, and we knew the volume was going to be there because Le'Veon wasn't. And he turned out to be a league winner until he got hurt.
Jamison Crowder up 20, Darren Waller up 16, Miles Sanders up 14 spots, and Devin Singletary up 11. Darren Waller's an interesting name, guys, because we blurb, we look at news, all we read out of Raiders camp is, wow, Darren Waller is someone that we really want to draft, but we have him around tight end 24, tight end 21, and he's still going around there in drafts. Tight end is super thin. Is it worth drafting this guy or even thinking about it?
He's in a sling with a
now
shoulder
he's
injury,
hurt.
so I don't know.
And, who knows, maybe he's changing positions again soon.
Maybe he's going defense.
To me, I would say there's a non-0% chance Darren Waller doesn't even make the team. He's a very intriguing, he probably will make the team, obviously, but he's still more intrigue than anything actionable.
Well, one thing that's interesting about him is he's slotting into the role that was vacated by Jared Cook, who
he was supposed to slide into the role. Not yet.
Who led the team in basically every receiving
now they
category
have Antonio
after
Brown.
Amari Cooper got traded.
Daigle, wax poetic about Jalen Hurd here a little bit. Can you?
I know I didn't play him in DFS when he went for 2 touchdowns. I can say that much. No, Jalen Hurd looks the part. The big thing here is that you want Jalen Hurd to be that cheat code that has multi-position eligibility, and I think he has a real chance of doing that because he's going to play wide receiver, he's going to play running back, and at times we might even see him in line as a tight end. Obviously not a blocker, but he plays all those positions, and so much like Jalen Samuels, much like Marquez Colston that year, if you get someone you can actually slot in 3 positions, that's a league winner.
And whereas I talked up Dante Pettis basically the whole summer, obviously based on the news, you kind of have to trickle off and go off that a little bit. And it does happen, and we're just being honest about it. But the names that are being brought up so often now are Jalen Hurd and Deebo Samuel. And if their preseason continue on this path, he's up plus 100 right now, Jalen Hurd. Who knows? By the end, it could be plus 200.
And then we see the Marquise Goodwin's not even going to make the team a month ago, and now he's the number 1 receiver on the team.
Yeah. And there's opportunity as a slot receiver with Trent Taylor, probably questionable for week 1 with the Jones fracture.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for looking at this ADP report. And for all of you out there, for more rankings, projections, strategy, and advice on how to dominate your drafts, check out the all-new Rotoworld NFL Draft Guide. It's now mobile optimized with a new look and feel. It's never been easier to take our award-winning advice with you to your drafts. For that extra competitive edge, just go to rotoworld.com/draft guide for more.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.